Hey there, Without Fear of Her Future listeners. If you are hungry to create financial freedom, look no further than She Can 23. This is the nation's largest event for women already investing in real estate or those who want to begin. So join thousands of women just like you and I as we shatter the glass ceiling together and make history as women unlocking our financial security by investing in real estate. With exclusive workshops, networking sessions, and expert advice from the best in the world, you will be armed with the specialized knowledge that you need to make confident and educated real estate investments. You do not want to miss this powerful event where we women from all over the world come together to listen to industry giants. Last year, we had Barbara Corcoran, Jamie Carn-Lima, and even Elena Cardone. I cannot wait for you to see the lineup for this year. We are going to create lasting connections and friendships. Just imagine you and 25,000 other women with the same goals and desires at one event. It is a truly transformative experience. It's an event designed for women who are hungry for more, just like you. Empowerment and clarity like you have never felt before is waiting for you at She Can 23. Remember, if she can, you can too. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. Take action now and secure your tickets to She Can 23. It's time to invest in your future without fear and show the world what women are truly capable of. Visit shecan23.com/podcast to secure your seat today. It's linked in the description below. I cannot wait to see you at She Can 23. I bless you. Dream big and be brave. And so if you have bad debt, I think the most important thing that you could do is start figuring out a way that you're going to pay that off.
Right.
And obviously, the Dave Ramsey way, or this is what he taught many, many years ago, is you pay off the smallest debt first and just get it out. Whatever you find, all of your little credit card loans, whatever you have, and just start with that smallest and just try to get that thing paid off, paid off, paid off, paid off. Without Fear of Her Future podcast is for women who are passionately pursuing financial freedom, using multiple streams of income and real estate to accomplish their goals. We are here to empower you to be brave, dream big, and design a life that you love that inspires others to do the same. I am Tresa Todd, founder of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network and author of the book Without Fear of Her Future.
And I'm Melissa Baker, a real estate investor and fitness coach specializing in turning properties from drab to fab. In today's episode, we are peeling back the layers of financial stewardship, a transformative approach that goes beyond numbers, rooted in purpose and legacy. So with that, let's get started by talking about what financial stewardship actually is. Financial stewardship is simply protecting one's long-term assets through a commitment to moral, ethical, and prudent financial decisions.
Woo.
And there is a difference in regular financial stewardship and biblical financial stewardship. And we can talk about that too. The biblical financial stewardship is simply putting God in the picture.
Yes.
He gets a piece of it first,
That's
right?
right.
Prioritizing God in all of your finances. So through tithes and offerings, and we can talk about that as we get going.
I love it. I know that for me, I started tithing when I was really young, and I learned that I could live much better on my 90% if I gave God 10% first, that my 90% was much more blessed than that 100%.
Isn't that true?
Yes. So I am a believer. You may not be a believer in tithing, and that's okay. We're still going to give you some amazing financial tips today, but did want to just start it off with the fact that both Melissa and I are just believers, and if you just give God that first 10%, that then you can expect
He blesses everything.
Yes.
He really does.
Yes. So here's the deal. This is not a fun topic. I understand that. However, oh my gosh, it's so instrumental. And I am so grateful that years ago in my church, they were teaching, I believe that it was called Kingdom Living or something, but it was Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
And now, because I am into real estate, I don't 100% follow Dave Ramsey. I love you, Dave, if you ever listen to this podcast. But I am so thankful that I learned that young, because it kept me all of those years from being overwhelmed with debt and living within my means.
Right.
And that is the hardest thing for us to do, ladies, I know. And I'm a shopper. I love things, but I am so thankful that at a very young age, I learned to live within my means. So we're just going to talk a little bit about, this is like real practical stuff for every single one of us. So we all need a financial plan, and to kind of think about, what are your financial goals? So I think many times we just get a job, we go out, we get a house, we get the car, and then we just start paying the bills, and we really don't have a plan. And so if that's you, I highly recommend to sit down with pen and paper and get yourself a financial plan. Where do you want to be in 3-5 years from now? How much would you like to have in your savings? When do you want to retire? How much do you want to have in a retirement? Because those things, and I can, even though I had the Dave Ramsey program going on and I thought I had done all the things right, when I was 50 years old, I realized, I did not have a real retirement plan at all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and getting out of debt is one of the biggest things and the first things to look at. And I know that there was a time in my life that debt kind of just really weighed on me, and getting out of that debt, it was a huge mountain to climb.
Yes.
But I did it. And that's one thing that really is the first thing as far as that financial freedom.
Absolutely.
Is getting out of debt. And
so
not
if you are just overwhelmed with debt, really, you don't even, little debt, and we're talking about bad debt. Now, as investors, we believe in good debt. Private money loans, hard money loans, all of those, that's great debt. If it's going to make you money, then I'm all about the debt. But bad debt is that, you're spending it on taking your vacations. You're buying your furniture. You're buying those big screen TVs. All of that is considered bad debt. And so if you have bad debt, I think the most important thing that you could do is start figuring out a way that you're going to pay that off.
Right.
And obviously, the Dave Ramsey way, or this is what he taught many, many years ago, is you pay off the smallest debt first and just get it out. Whatever you find, all of your little credit card loans, whatever you have, and just start with that smallest and just try to get that thing paid off as fast as you can. And there is something so liberating when you pay that last payment on something. It feels so good. And when you really are dedicated to that, I think that you are less likely to take on a new debt when you are really concentrating,
working towards those
getting
debts.
paying off the bad debt.
I agree. So we mentioned earlier about tithing, those who are believers who tithe. And I think that personally, that's one of the first things that, when the paycheck hits the bank, we have our tithe comes out automatically. It's not even something we think about. We really don't even see it. It's almost like our retirement savings or our savings. We take it out immediately, so it's not even a temptation to spend that money or to allocate it somewhere else.
Yep.
So our tithe is on automation. And then also kind of a 10% savings we pull out for emergencies. You've got to have a little emergency fund. What happens when the water heater goes out?
Yep.
Or the car breaks down? You've got to have that emergency fund, especially if your budget is tight.
Absolutely.
And also for taxes, if you own your home, you're going to have to pay those property taxes. You've got to be, if you're not doing it through your mortgage, you've got to be putting back for that as well. So those things have to kind of take priority over the others.
Yeah. And obviously, if you're a real estate investor or if you have your own business, you've got to be thinking about those taxes. You don't want to wait until the end of the year. I know for myself, I have my accountant does it every 4 months. And I just automatically put a sum of money into an account. So I'm like you. My tithes is set up on automation. It goes straight to my church. Yeah. Like I know my base pay, and it automatically just gets sent. And then I put 10% of my savings automatically just moves over to a savings account. And then I also have another account that I am putting tax money. And then sometimes I don't have enough still, or vice versa. Sometimes taxes come due and I have a little extra money in there. I just leave it in there for the next
starts building
the next season.
Right.
So,
and if this isn't something that you are used to doing, the first month or so of doing it, it can be a challenge because you're used to having so much money to spend each month based on your pay. But if you, after a month or two of doing it, you get used to living off of that what you've got left after you take care of these important things.
Yes. And again, like we just said, this is not a fun topic, and it takes a lot of discipline. And I think, have you seen, I've seen this on social media, where they have the little kids sitting at the table and they put the marshmallow in front of them, and they say, okay, don't eat this marshmallow until I come back. Just, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the bathroom. And so they just leave this marshmallow in front of these kids. And some of the kids wait. And, they will pick the marshmallow up, and they will even lick it and hold on to it. And, but they wait until the parents come back. Some of the kiddos could not do it. As soon as the parent is out the door, well, they ate the marshmallow. Well, I think about that when I'm thinking about this discussion today, because we do live in a society where we want instant gratification. Yes. We want all the things. We want to keep up with the Joneses. And if your sister-in-law gets a new car, then you think you need a new car. And I am telling you that it may be a fun way to live right now, but in the end, you're going to regret it. Yes. It's really not even fun right now, because now you're stressed about your finances all the time. And so live within your means, but have a plan. That's why I'm such a believer in being a real estate investor, because I don't want you to live this way forever.
Right.
And you don't have to live this way forever, but you've got to get started.
Right. And it takes some discipline to do that. I remember years ago when I was a single mom, and so I was really having to budget and watch things right. And I had a really good friend who always complained about not having money. Like, finances was just a struggle for her. Mm-hmm. But she was at Starbucks almost every day. Yeah. And I remember thinking, what's the priority here? If you can afford Starbucks, can you afford to pay some of these things that are? So it comes down to your priorities, and just having the discipline to set that budget and stick with it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So go through, what subscriptions can you get rid of? What Starbucks can you give up? What you are going to have to make some sacrifices. There is unless you just have, all the money. But if you don't have all the money, then be willing to make some sacrifices now for a great life later. And I don't mean when you retire. I don't mean in 10 or 20 years. If you're investing in real estate, this could literally change within months, and truly within a year or two. Right. Your Definitely. Life could, you won't have to give up the Starbucks that I have right here with me today. You won't have to give up some of those things. Now this conversation today is about financial stewardship. However, we have an answer. I'm telling you to do all these right things, but I don't want you to live this way forever. So start investing in real estate so that you can start making money and you can start living a dream life now. But even then, you have to live within your means. Right. You don't go do 2 deals, make $60,000, $80,000, and then go blow that $60,000 and $80,000. Be smart with that money, because then that way it can make you a whole lot more money.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So we've talked a little bit about budgeting. So the next thing that I do want to jump to, because we are talking a little bit about being a real estate investor, is you've got to budget for your business. If you want to grow, really any kind of business, but I feel like most of our audience are either investing in real estate or interested in that. So it does, I kind of don't like this phrase, it takes money to make money. Because I do believe that there are ways to get into this business without money, and we teach how to get invested, how to begin investing in money in real estate with using other people's money. However, you eventually are going to need some money. You need marketing money. You need some points and interest money. You need some of those things. You've got to set money aside for your business. Open up a business account if you're an investor. And I teach my ladies, you want to build that up to at least $250,000. And because once you get there, you can there's going to be opportunities that come your way. And if you are literally broke, you are going to have to turn down some of the biggest opportunities that could transform your life. But if you can build up this business account to hold about $250,000, and again, this is for your points and interest. This is for to have some money to refinance a property, so that you can, if you get a short-term rental, you've got to have the furniture to put in there. So you're going to need some cash. So as you're making money in this business, don't go blow that money. Save it, sink it back down, go get some wholesale deals, go do some flips, and then save as much money as you can to put into that business account, because bigger and better opportunities are going to come your way.
Yes.
So again, you want to have that money. There's going to be closing costs. There's just going to be things that you need some of that money for. So build up that business account.
So let's go back to the budget.
Okay.
So we're talking about the budget. We had talked about tithing, taking things out. What does a budget really look like? To me, your bills, your monthly bills, right? You've got a house payment or a rent payment. You've got to pay something else. What other bills? Your car payments, that
your
you've
utilities.
got. The utilities, things that have to be paid. So setting the budget, if you don't know how to budget, there's some apps. I know we were talking earlier. There's some apps that can help you budget if you don't know how to budget. What was the one you said you used?
The one that I'm addicted to right now is Rocket Money. And literally just go get the app, and it will help you with every single thing. And if you will really be faithful to it, it will show you exactly where you're spending all of your money, and you will see where you're splurging too much. What are you, all the things. So, but also, like I do my major banking at Chase. Even that app will keep up with where your money is going. Pay attention to that, and then and you have to constantly keep for budgeting. For me, it's not something that you write down. You have to constantly look at it. So look at it every month. See. Some places are easy for you. Some places are a little more difficult. But then again, live within those means. However, I think that if we don't give ourselves some fun time when you're setting up a budget, you have to pay your bills first and all of that. But if you, and even though I'm saying put in some in savings, pay your tithes, build up this business account. If you never allow yourself any fun recreation, you're going to fall off. It's kind of like a diet when you try to give up all the
good things.
All the good things, you're going to fall off. And it's the same way with the budget. So when I was budgeting as a single mom, I still allowed, I'm going to take my kids and we're going to go to dinner on Friday night, or we're going to go to the movie, or we're going to, now I always had to do the things on the low end of things. We're going to maybe eat where kids eat free when they were little. We're going to be smart with it, but you still have to give yourself.
But it was a treat.
Absolutely.
It was not something you did all the time. So you were able to treat yourself. Yeah.
Yes. So everybody's budget is going to look a little different. And obviously, when you're married, that's, you got to sit down and really talk this out, because usually one is a spender and one's a saver. And but if you sit down together and decide that what means you're going to do, what's important to you, what your priorities are, what bills you're going to get paid off, it can really be a lot of fun.
It can be. And I tell you, my husband is when we're opposite. I'm the spender, he's the saver, and he had always lived where he really didn't have a lot of debt because he believed in paying cash for everything. And so if he wanted something, he would save for it until he could go buy it. And I've taken that on, and it's actually kind of fun, like you were just saying, to work towards it. And when you finally have enough money, you go. And what's funny is that I have found a couple of times I've saved for something that I wanted so bad, and whether it took me 2 months or a year or however long to save for it, twice I can remember I had saved for something, and by the time I had saved enough for it, I realized that thing really wasn't that important to me, that my money needed to go somewhere else.
But
I had to, and I think that that's kind of God also, as where I was doing the right things, realizing that this money wasn't supposed to go to this thing, it needed to be put over here, or go to something else. So definitely give God a chance to make those decisions with you.
Absolutely. And not buying, what is the word I'm looking for? Because when we buy instantly, we just,
that instant gratification.
Yeah, we see
right
something,
now.
We want it, let's get it. But if we have decided that we're not going to do that, I agree. I have to just tell the story. Growing up, my mom was a single mom, and we loved to shop. But she did teach me how to shop on a budget, how to be smart. So anytime we went shopping, We were looking for the sales. We were looking for good deals. So if we found something that one of us loved and it wasn't on sale, then our rule was, well, we couldn't buy it that day. So we would say, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to sleep on it. And if I wake up and I still want it, or even in a day or two, then I'm going to go back and get it. And if it's gone, well, then it just wasn't meant to be.
Right.
But if it's still there after a day, do you know, I would say probably 90% of the time, you never even think about that purse again or that thing. But if you do wake up and you're like, oh, God, I really want that dress, then go get the dress.
That keeps you from having buyer's remorse, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah. So, again, Credit Karma is another app that I love because I love to keep up with my my credit score.
Oh, yes.
And see whatever decision that I am making. I just love to see that. Credit Karma is not completely accurate, but it's quick and easy. I also love Experian, but I love to keep up with that. And they will even notify you if your credit goes up a couple points, if it goes down a couple points. And boy, I want to look on there and see, okay, what did it do? And it'll give you suggestions of, hey, if you want your credit score to go up, you could do this. And I will do it. I'll go. I love to. It just feels good to have your credit score as high as possible.
It does.
And you got to start working on it. And don't just keep your head in the sand. Because I'm going to be honest, I didn't know what my credit score was for most of my life. Didn't think about those kinds of things. But now that I do, so Credit Karma, Experian, Rocket Money. And I have a feeling that wherever you're banking, your online banking has something that where you can really keep up with where your money is going.
And when you start paying attention, you realize some of the small things that you're paying for that you shouldn't. It's like you were saying earlier, the subscriptions. You guys, there's so many times I've gone on to buy something I've seen online. And I just want to try it out, not realizing I'm signing up for it to be a monthly shipment. And then you start getting it every month, and then you have to go track it down and call and cancel. But if they're small ones, you don't notice it. So pay attention, in your bank account and your credit card statements, where that money is going, and cancel those little subscriptions that are eaten away, because they do add up.
They surely do.
Yeah.
They surely do. Yep, that's another and Rocket Money will show me that. That's one thing I love about it. And I will have canceled something, or I've made the phone call, or I've done the thing, but then it didn't get canceled, and I think it's canceled. So, and Rocket Money will show it to me. So those kinds of things, just keep up with.
Yes.
Again, we talked a little bit about you have to have things that you enjoy about life. You can't just live this rigid life and you're only going to pay the bills and you're never going to do anything fun. No. We are a family that we do a lot of celebrating. We celebrate everything. And so still, every single time I get a deal, I'm going to celebrate in some kind of way. And so now we also love to eat out, fine dining. And so here's what we will do a lot. Every time we get a new deal, we're going to dinner. Now the truth is we were probably going to dinner anyway.
And now you have something to celebrate.
Exactly. And so, but it's a celebration. If I'm getting, and I know I love clothes and jewelry and all that. So sometimes if it's just my own deal, didn't partner with anybody, instead of dinner, I'm going on a shopping spree. I'm going, on a really big deal, I'm going to the beach. I do believe reward yourself for the hard work you're doing. Don't reward yourself prematurely. Wait till you can afford it. But once you can, begin to celebrate that and enjoy. I believe that God said He gave us all things richly to enjoy. So we have to be stewards with our money. Right. But He also wants us to enjoy our life. So plan those vacations. Plan even Christmas shopping, birthday. Put all the birthday presents. I have a lot of birthdays.
You have a lot of kids.
You can go broke.
There's a lot of kids in your family.
You have to put those things in your budget. Put a vacation in your budget so that you just don't decide, okay, it's summer, you're looking at Instagram and everybody else is going on vacation. You want to go on a vacation, and so you just put it all on your credit card. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Start saving right now. And I was so good at this, and I could take a vacation on a budget. I could do all the things on a budget, but it took practice, and it's fun not to have to do that anymore. Right. But I lived most of my life on a budget, and so it can be done. And it's worth the sacrifice.
It can.
So worth the sacrifice. Also, extra things that we might want, like you were just talking about. If you're wanting to put a swimming pool in your backyard, if it is time for a new car, start thinking about those things and budgeting those things. And
that's where that emergency fund comes in. If you recall, quick story about 2 months ago, I think it was, we were headed to record podcast and my car just broke down.
Yes.
Remember? I was on the side road and I thought it was something. My husband's kind of a mechanic, you guys. And so I was thinking he could fix it and he couldn't. I had to get a new car. And I'm so thankful that we had savings that we were able to replace the car fairly quickly so that we weren't out.
Yeah.
Because ladies, in our business, we've got to have our transportation.
Absolutely.
There's some things we have to have to make some money. We got to have the transportation to go and do the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So that emergency fund is important.
Yes. And then as I'm setting up the budget and we're talking about all of these things, again, I just want to come back to me, one of the most important things is every extra penny that I have. After I've done all the things that I'm talking about, after my start. Now, first of all, I had this basic budget, right, that I'm living by. And then I have this money that I can spend any way I want on the Starbucks or on the vacation or all the things. Now, I didn't have that, before, but now I do. However, when it comes down to it, I'm still constantly looking to see what's left over that I'm going to put back in my business, because now that's money that I can do bigger ventures. I can do bigger things. I can, lend that money out as a private money lender, and I want to be smart with all of that. So, your budgeting, your financial stewardship is going to change as you begin to grow wealth.
Yes.
And that's pretty fun.
Right. And part of that, as you grow wealth for yourself, something that I know a lot of the women in our network have done. If anyone was at WREIN Live and saw the Womanaires, I know several of them have started their own either foundation or organization, or they're giving back. There's a philanthropy that they have a heart for. You guys, it feels so good to give, and that goes into our tithes, our offerings. I feel like the more we make, the more we get to give. And I say get to give, not have to give. Because when you give from that giving spirit, it makes such a difference. It blesses you, but it blesses them. And that's so a lot of if you look at, with your goal setting, with your finances, find something that you are passionate about, that you want to give to, and start working towards that in your financial goals, being able to save for that and be able to give to that organization or that foundation, or to support a cause that is near and dear to you. Yes.
We had 14 ladies this year at WREIN Live that had started some type of a foundation or nonprofit out of the extra that they are, I believe that God blesses us to be a blessing.
Yes.
Not just to hoard everything so that we can take bigger vacations and have nicer cars. I'm okay with all of those things. But yes, I love everything. You're talking about giving back and what you're passionate about. I'm able to fund Warrior Women, and that's helped single moms. But every single one of us should have something that is a passion within us. Takes me back to Proverbs 31, where it says, she plants a garden. Oh, how does it go? She considers a garden. No.
She considers a field.
She considers a field.
She buys it.
Yes. So this is telling us that women were real estate investors way back, and this is the Old Testament. She considers a field and buys it. So I like to say she knew the golden formula. She considered the field. She knew she knew how to decide if this was a good deal. And then it says, and she buys it, and then out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She grows a garden. She's giving back life somewhere. So we need to all have a garden. What are we going to do as God begins to bless us and we build wealth and we have this excess? What are we going to do with it?
Yes.
Not hoard it up, not buy Lamborghinis. Not that there's anything wrong if you have a dream of a Lamborghini, but let's give back. Let's make impact. Let's make somebody else's life better along the way.
And He's planted that seed in each of us. Each one of us has a passion, a dream, something that really just stirs in our spirit when we think about it, that we want to be able to give and to help and to support. And if you don't know what that is, I would say spend some time in prayer. The Lord will reveal it to you, because if He's given you this passion and a dream, maybe that you don't even know you have, a little time with him in prayer. He will reveal it, and then he will make the means available to you to get there to do what he's calling you to do. We just have to be willing.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that.
So good. Yes.
Well, I think we're going to wrap up today. If you've enjoyed this and you have not subscribed to the Without Fear of Her Future podcast, then hit that subscribe button today for all the new episode reminders. And please leave us an honest review on our podcast page. I have a special invitation for all of our female listeners, and this is really how to safeguard your financial future. If you really want to grow wealth like we're talking about, so that you can have that extra, so that you can give back, and then you want to show up at She Can 23. This is the biggest virtual event for women real estate investors in the country. Women are saying that She Can 23 is their golden key to investing in real estate the rich way. So go to shecan23.com /podcast to secure your seat in this historical event for women nationwide. If she can and we can, then you can too.
Definitely you can too. Thank you so much for joining us today. On behalf of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network and Tresa Todd, I'm Melissa Baker, encouraging you to be brave and dream big.